This is the weekly Metal Reviews cat. It's weekly Metal Reviews here. Sam and T-Dog, Richard Squisher. But we're here today talking about Unearth the March. This is the second time we've done this video because somehow it just disappeared on my computer or Sam's camera or something. I don't know. But Unearth is a metalcore band that's been around for a good about 10 years or so. I think they debuted in 2001. This album came out the March 2008. Metal Blade Records. You know, they put a new album out, but we thought this one is a nice one to talk about. And yeah, let's dive into it. I'm gonna go. All right. No. I really like this band. I've been into them for a while now, and yeah, yeah. But they have a sound that's just very unique when it comes to metalcore, and I think one thing that really helps them stand out, two things actually, is the guitar, the leads, and the vocals. I'll explain. Starting with the guitar, the tone's just kind of different. It's got more of a dirty sound to it when it comes to the riffing. And some of the riffing is like not the most complicated, but it is very, very nice. And I think sometimes they can be tricky though. Like Grave of Opportunity. That's my favorite song off of here. But the leads that come in, such as right when the album starts, Mine Will Be Done, amazing. Crow Killer, amazing. Shoot, what's it called? Cutting Man or something? Just awesome. You know, the leads, the lead guitar player is just fantastic. The first time as a guitar player, when I heard the sweeps in Mine Will Be Done, I was floored. I was like, this band is cool. And then then it got harmonized a little later, and I lost it. I'm like, oh my gosh, how can you do that? It's just killer. It's just the guitar playing in this band is just really fantastic. And from our past 3 albums, you know, Oncoming Storm and March, 4, I mean, 3, In the Eyes of Fire and Darkness and the Light, I think it is the latest one. You know, the guitar playing is just awesome. I love the riffing. It's very that just metalcore style riffing, you know, C minor type shit in a way. I mean, it kind of depends what tuning you're in, but that just minor riffage, and then you know you got your standard third harmonies, thirds and fifths. You know, it's cool. I like the riffing in this band. Now getting to the vocals. The vocals, there's no cleans on this album, and I think this band stands out a little bit more when they do cleans. I don't want them to overuse it, but I think it's cool. Like in their newest album, they used cleans sometimes. You know, Oncoming Storm, they used cleans. You know, I think it's cool, but there's none on here. But the lead vocalist, he has a pretty unique scream, and it's kind of like a shout type thing with just a really raspy shout in a way. It's not a full out scream. It's cool, and you know his pitch is kind of nice. I just think he really helps his band stand out. It's like, oh, you know, it's Unearth, you know. I can know it's Unearth by the leads or the vocalist. And, I mean, I like the lyrics, too. The lyrics are pretty cool. And his overall style is cool. And sometimes he just does this kind of like a talky type thing without the force behind it that would make it a scream. I just think he really helps this band stand out, make them unique, and he just has a cool sound to him. The drumming on this album is very solid too. I love the drummer in this band. Just his whole style, sound of his drums is just awesome. The mix on this album is fantastic. It's kind of got especially when it comes to the guitar department, just this low end type to it. Like I said, it's just kind of like a low end, kind of dirtier guitar tone than most metalcore bands. I think that when it comes to metalcore, I think this is one of the stalwarts of the genre, and it just helps it doesn't help. It's just one of the most popular and better in, you know, bands of this genre. Like, I would throw this band up there with the Killswitch Engages and As the Late Dyings and bands such as that. You know, the bigger bands, and it's cool. I like this album. This is a solid fucking album. So, yeah.
How do I feel about Unearth? I feel that this album, especially this band, very high energy. From beginning to end on this album, very high energy. Even when they have their breakdowns, they're very headbanging, very groovy, very headbanging, very, you know, just the snap of that snare really makes it something very memorable. Each breakdown, you just kind of, you know, really want to headbang to it, just to say the least. I know Tyler covered the guitar playing, but I'll talk a little bit about it. Buzz and Ken, the guitar players, those guys can just rip your asshole apart and shove all kinds of things in it. These guys solo, sweeps, riffs, these guys can really do it all and really make it sound just as easy as riding a bike, to be honest. They make it sound so, you know, like, oh, I can just do this off the top of my fucking head with no thinking about it. And where the hell did these guys think of that? I mean, they must be incredibly, amazingly talented guitar players, because to just pull that stuff out of nowhere and to make the whole song flow and sound nice is really something that's not as easy as it seems. The transitions that they use really make songs just come together as a whole. What else can I say? This is there's a lot of bands nowadays that label themselves as metal, but this is a real metal band. You think about it, sure, they're metalcore, you have the core in it, ooh, screaming vocals or whatever. That does not matter. The guitar abilities and it makes you feel like you need to air guitar. It makes you feel like you need to run around like a fucking idiot, just for no reason. This band really has high energy, and I have not seen them live, unfortunately. They're up there of bands I want to see live, but I have a feeling that this is just a band you could really get happy to and really just spin around in a circle and, you know, until you get dizzy and throw up, then you drink, and then you spin around in another circle. Like, this band is just, the sound kicks ass, the production is amazing. This band is just off the charts in the talent that appears on this album. Not only is the guitar skills just above average, highly above average, you know, some of the best guitaring I've heard in a while. Not only that, but the drumming also is so complimentary of everything else in this band. The bass, it's bass. You know, I can't speak too much on that. Trevor Phipps has just one of those voices, you know, it's like, first time you ever hear this band, unless you've gotten into metalcore before, like Shadows Fall or Killswitch Engage, when you hear Trevor Phipps' vocals, you think like, oh, these are kinda, they're not really like, I don't know, extremely guttural, they're not like highs that just make your ears want to bleed. They're not, there's nothing like incredibly punch you in the face about it, but it's something that really stands out. It jumps out at you and just like unzips its pants and puts its wiener in your mouth. Like Trevor's vocals really make a lot of the songs really stand out. Just the I can say the shouting, yelling, whatever he does, really emphasizes the like energy in this band. To just kind of like yell at the top of his lungs, not even like a scream sometimes, just a yell, and while everyone else is just wailing away on whatever they're playing, this album really comes together like that. and many of the songs have these solos and breakdowns and so many things in them that make each song worth listening to. It really is a very listenable album. If you like metalcore, this is a must-have album in my opinion. What else can I say about it? The only what would you call it? Bad. I don't want to say bad thing, because there's really, in my opinion, nothing bad about this album. But the only I'm gonna be nitpicky. I'll say that again. I say that a lot, but I'll be nitpicky. The songs really have similar parts sometimes. Like this song, you're thinking, oh, this is like they're doing this and they're doing that, and then you listen to another song and you're like, didn't they just use that same build up, or did they not use that something very similar to that? Not the exact same thing. This is not a band that uses the exact same thing. They're far too creative for that. But you think, this sounds a little bit similar to something small in the last song. Just the feeling I get from it, the type of build-up that they're using. Sure, they do that. That's my only nitpick about this album. That sometimes, sure, they may repeat something, or what would you call it? Use something very similar to something that's very cool. That's the thing about it. That cancels it all out. If they use something very similar to something crappy or boring, sure, fuck that. Get it out of here. Open the door, kick it out, you know, whatever. But the fact that they use these build-ups that really, you know, give you like a strong sense of like this is going to be really cool. They use these build-ups that really pump you up, and they use these just sweeps that really make you go crazy over this album. I really think from beginning to end, this album, whether it's you know, sweeps, whether it's solos, whether it's like the song Letting Go, it's that slow like crunch headbang thing that they have going on. No matter what it is on this album, I feel like it's very strong, very listenable. It may not be something that I could just describe in so many different ways. I can describe it in, you know, the way it is. It's a very metal album. There's not like this and that. It's like, you know, these good sweeps, these good solos, this great guitar work, Trevor Phipps's vocals, the drumming. You know, it's something that you need to listen to, and I can't describe it beyond a certain point. I really think that it's something that you really need to just experience on your own. That's the best way to say it. But very high energy album, very talented work by everyone in this band, very great album in my opinion.
Score.
Although I think it's very great, I think from beginning to end, it has a lot to offer. I still think I would give it a 9 out of 10.
8.5. Bye. 5.